All I remember is a giant force hitting us.
The attack came out of nowhere.
They clearly knew we were journalists.
I knew immediately that Isam was killed.
They were clearly trying to kill us all.
And the entire situation was just horrific and horrible.
I thought she was going to die. I thought she was dead. My colleague Christina Asi and I were tasked with monitoring the border and the apparent escalation along the border between the Israeli army and Hezbollah. We saw this huge plume of smoke, so the Reuters team and us, we decided to try to get a better look at it and get closer.
Al Jazeera arrived first, and then later on we arrived with Reuters.
We kind of arrived at this exposed hilltop where the Al Jazeera crew was already in place.
We had Christina, Dylan, Isam and his crew coming.
We considered it to be a perfect setup.
It's clear, it's on a hill. You can see us and you can know that we are journalists.
All of us wearing the press vest, all of us wearing helmets with press written right across our chests.
We were all positioned next to each other.
We had 3 live feeds to 3 international news agencies, and the audio analysis from my video proved that an Israeli drone circled us 11 times.
And we showed the Apache also that was flying over our heads and over that hill.
I think with the sophisticated level of observation capabilities that Israel has, they clearly knew we were journalists. They could probably see our faces. They probably knew which agencies we worked for.
We've been there for an hour covering what's happening.
Isam called me. He needed to ask me a question, a silly question.
And then out of nowhere, we were hit directly.
What happened? I can't feel my legs. I can't feel my legs.
Oh fuck, oh fuck.
I can't feel my legs.
All I remember is a giant force hitting us and hearing my colleague Christina screaming.
I lost sensation in my legs. I was trying to understand what happened.
And I turned around and I saw her on the ground and immediately saw that she had devastating injuries to both her legs.
And then like 37 seconds later,
it was a larger explosion that time, and I was injured in that blast.
After the second attack, everyone disappeared and I was calling for help, but there was no one. And the car was burning next to me. So I had to crawl away from the fire. And the entire situation was just horrific and horrible. I saw someone wearing white and I waved at them.
You feel that everything's blurry? It's so hot because, you know, it was burning. Yeah, the rocket like burned the car. I had shrapnels all over my body.
I moved away to call for help.
When I was trying to call the Red Cross, I told them, follow the smoke and you will find us.
Then we began looking for Isam because we couldn't find him. And we found his body on the other side of a stone wall that we had been positioned next to.
I knew immediately that Isam was killed and Christina was injured. I clearly saw them, both of them.
You close your eyes to one reality, and then you open your eyes and you're in a different new reality, and you don't understand why. I asked my colleague, where's Isam? And he was like, he's in a critical condition. I Google in Arabic, and the first thing I see is a video of his funeral. And here I lost it, I started crying.
Cheers.
Isam was the kindest journalist and friend as well, not only a journalist. I was super excited to be working alongside with him.
Isam was a big presence. He's like the guy you call if you're ever in trouble.
He's like the smile, the laughter of any gathering. He's like the one who's making fun about any kind of situation, even if it's like a hard one.
He's the guy you trust. If you want to bring somebody with you, you bring Isam.
Isam never thought about the scoop itself or just having like the best image of the best. No, this is the journalism we need. The journalism that not only tells the stories, but make a change.
He was the beating heart of the press scene here in Lebanon, and a really good friend.
And yeah, unfortunately, we lost Isam.
Usually you would think that journalists would not be targets in a war zone, but this conflict has changed that. They've clearly become targets.
All the investigations showed that we were targeted. It wasn't a mistake.
There are other ways to tell journalists to get away from your border other than firing directly at them with a Merkava. And then to fire further with the 50 caliber machine gun, which is what the latest Reuters investigation showed. They were clearly trying to kill us all.
Israelis deal with journalists as threats because you hold the narrative, you are on the ground and you are telling the story with all the evidences.
They want to silence us. They don't want journalists to be covering anything or doing anything.
We are journalists, we are witnesses. We are witnessing what the Israelis are doing, and they didn't want this to be to exist.
We have a duty to do, and our duty is to show the public what's happening in the news and to cover anything.
I'm not sure if you ever fully recover from such an attack and from losing friends in such a brutal way.
It's not an easy decision to go back to the south.
Very few journalists are going down there now because of those risks.
I was attacked because I'm a journalist. I went back to the south because I'm a journalist. And I want to keep doing what I've done.
I don't want them to stop me. I want to keep working. I want to stand up. I want to walk because I deserve that. I deserve to live. Just because I'm a journalist doesn't allow anyone to target me and change my life and stop me and silence me. It doesn't make sense.
We will take the responsible of those war crimes into courts because we are seeing journalists being killed on a daily basis, and this is unacceptable.
I want to know the name, I want to know the face of who did that to us, who decided to press that button and change our lives.
They say that their forces do not fire on journalists, do not target journalists, and when instances like that do happen, that they look into it, but there's never any accountability and there's never any conclusion to those investigations.
When you have like 3 or 4 organizations telling you okay, everything is showing that these journalists were targeted, what else is there to do?
When I was injured in Ukraine in July 2023, there was clear and direct condemnation of the targeting of journalists in a war zone. 3 months later, when I was wounded again along the Lebanese border, it took a 3-month-long investigation just to get some sort of condemnation. There's a clear difference in the global response. So I think pushing for accountability would be a good first step.
I hope if all journalists unite and fight against what's happening, hopefully one day these investigations will be used in order for us to have justice.
This conflict will go on record as I think already is, the deadliest conflict for journalists ever. And people in our profession should speak out more.
When the Israelis are killing journalists, they are killing one side of the story. And they want to win the narrative. But I believe they will never do this.